Hey everyone, how's it going? Cloud here, and welcome to my guide on the Grim Tales quest. Now, for this quest you need the final requirements, so you must have completed the Witch's House quest, and you need these skill requirements: 45 farming, 52 herblore, 58 thieving, 59 agility and 71 woodcutting, and also it's recommended to have a decent combat level to fight the level 68 Glod during the quest. That's it for requirements. Onto the items. You will need 2 vials of water, 2 clean tarromin herbs, some standard leather gloves, the ones from the Varrock clothes store will be the easiest ones to obtain, and a watering can with water. You cannot use the magic watering can from Fairy Tale Part 3 though, it has to be an actual watering can. That's it for requirements and items. Now onto the quest starting point. So we are currently at the Tavali lodestone, which can be accessed via the lodestone network, and to start this quest we need to speak to Silas, who can be found west of Falador and south of Tavali at his farming plot just north of the Witch's House. So we want to go and speak to him. So Silas is a collector and he's in possession of some magic beans which he's willing to part with you if you can bring him a couple of trinkets for his collection. The first item he wants is a Griffin Feather from the Griffin Grimnash on White Wolf Mountain, and the second is a special helmet from a dwarf named Rupert who is locked in a tower south of the Mind Altar near Goblin Village. So we're going to go and obtain the Griffin Feather first. So what we need to do is from Silas we need to head to White Wolf Mountain, and Grimnash is located on the northeast corner of it. So if you just watch where I'm going, I'll lead you to it. So the angry Griffin says that he cannot get to sleep because of the howling wolves and demands a bedtime story from you, and if you fail to do this he would eat you. So if Grimnash doesn't like the story, he'll attack you and deal between 1000 and 1500 life points of damage, so just a heads up there. So Grimnash says he loves a story with death, fire and destruction, so you want to proceed to narrate to him a bedtime story by selecting the options which sounds the most violent. And obviously I think it's different for each player, that the options that you can give, but these are all the answers that are correct, so these will all pop up at some point, so you might want to make note of these, and I'll also have them in the video description below just to make it easier. So I heard you were a great and mighty griffin is one of them. There once was a graveyard filled with the undead is another. There lived a skeleton named Skullrot is another one. Skullrot was insane. Skullrot hungrily grabbed the gnome's hair and started to strangle the poor gnome. And after this point you can then answer with any remaining choices, as they'll be quite violent. So once Grimnash is asleep you'll then be able to steal a feather from the pile next to his nest. So next we need to contact Rupert, who is locked in the tower, so we're going to teleport to the Falador lodestone via the lodestone network, and then from there we're going to head north, sort of in the direction of where the dwarven mountain camp is, whatever you want to call it, but then you're going to sort of detour off to the west side and you'll come up to where a tower is. So if you attempt to go in by the door of the tower, the princess outside will stop you. So in order to locate Rupert you need to go around the back and climb over the crumbling wall. Once inside the compound you want to talk into the pipe and you'll find that Rupert the Beard has actually been imprisoned at the top of the tower. Talk to Rupert and find out how to get up the tower, and he suggests climbing up is the only viable option. Ask if there's anything that he can help with and he'll throw down his long beard, and you'll then want to climb up the beard. So Rupert will explain what happened. His gnome friend Winkin disappeared when he was delivering ogle roots to the market in Drainer Village, and when he asked around he found that Winkin was last seen talking to a witch, and on further investigation you'll find that he came across the princess, who is related to the witch who was last seen with the gnome, and Rupert admits to flirting with the princess to pry information out of her, and then when he was invited back to the tower she locked him in. So Rupert will ask you to talk to the princess and convince her to release him, so you want to climb down the tower using the beard once again and talk to her, who will say that she'll happily release the dwarf if you can return her pendant stolen by a mouse in her second cousin's twice removed house, aka the Witch's House south of Tavali. So ask the princess for a door key in order to enter her cousin's house, or if you forget to do that you can look under the potted plant near the door of the house, but just ask the princess before you leave. And what we then need to do is head to the basement of the witch's house. So to get to the witch's house, we need to teleport to the Taverley Lodestone and then head back to the area where Silas was, and you'll see where the witch's house is. And you want to enter the house and then go into the basement. Now at this point, make sure you're wearing a pair of leather gloves as to avoid an electric shock from the gate and lose life points. So open the cage door and search the music stand to find a music sheet, and you want to have to read it carefully as you have to play the notes on the piano nearby. So the first lot of notes are played on the right hand side of the piano, and the other notes are played on the left hand side of the piano. So the notes should be the same for each player, so what you can do, you can either obviously just load up the picture of where all the different notes are and like take a print screen of it, or if not, I will talk you through where each of the keys is. So to play the first lot of notes, E, F, E, D, C, the E key is the 5th key along from the right hand side, then the F key is next to that one, the E key is obviously going back 1, the D key is going back 1 again, and the C key is going back 1 again. So that's like the first section completed, and then to play the notes A, E, G, A, they're on the left hand side. So from the left hand side of the piano, you want to hit the 6th note from the left, which is A. Then the E note is 3 notes before that, or 3 keys before that I should say, sorry. Then the G key is 2 keys going towards the right, and then the A key is next to that, which you clicked at the beginning. So if you've done that correctly, you'll play the melody and a compartment will open, revealing 3 items in it: a shrinking potion recipe, a to-do list, and 2 shrunk ogle roots. So you want to read the recipe to mix a shrinking potion, which is to use a clean tarromin with a vial of water, and then complete it by adding the ogle root. And you'll want to make 2 shrink me quick potions now, as you'll need one later in the quest. So with the potions made, you want to go back up to the small room leading into the garden, and you want to drink 1 potion while standing next to the witch glyph on the wall near the mouse hole, and due to the potion and the glyph's magical properties, you'll suddenly shrink and enter into the mouse hole. So you need to navigate through the mouse holes, and there's different mouse holes to climb through and different parts to climb up in order to find where the pendant is. So these are the instructions. You want to run north past the first house and then find the set of nails that can be climbed and climb up them. Next you want to go south, go west, and then climb the nails on the northern wall. Now you want to turn around and climb another set of nails. Now run northeast around the corner and climb down the nails there. And then finally run north and you'll find the last set of nails to climb up. And after climbing these, you'll find the pendant at the end of the hallway, and you then want to take the pendant. Once you obtain the pendant, you can now teleport out. So if you teleport back to the Falador Lodestone, you want to return to where the tower and the dwarf was. So take the pendant to the princess, who keeps her promise and releases the dwarf, and fumbling with his armour, Rupert manages to exit the tower, and as a token he'll offer you his special helmet. So we now want to return back to Silas to give him Rupert's helmet along with the Griffin Feather, so you can teleport to the Taverley Lodestone and head from there like at the beginning of the quest. So you'll realise that Silas is actually interested in something bigger. In exchange for the beans, which are in fact not magical, he wants you to get one final piece of collectible, a golden goblin. So this golden goblin is in the possession in the clouds, protected by a giant, and Silas wants you to retrieve it for him. He'll point out that the reason why Rupert has such a long beard is because of a special growth potion that was in his helmet, and using this potion you may be able to access the land of the skies. So you want to take the beans and plant it in a special patch behind Silas, and then you'll need to use your watering can. After watering the patch, a cutscene will play where a giant beanstalk will grow up in place of the beans. So this is the part where you'll need to fight the Glod, the giant. So when you're ready, climb up the beanstalk. So Glod the Cloud Giant will attack you immediately, and due to his prior disabling abilities, he can be a bit more difficult than his level suggests. He'll sometimes taunt you, causing your character to attack him head on, and he may also make the ground shake, which will drain your prayer. Glod may also heal himself during the battle, so therefore you should keep attacking him wherever you can in order to defeat him as quickly as possible. Now there is a thing that happens that if you exit the beanstalk area before you kill Glod and then come back, the chat screen will say that Glod's strength and attack have increased since you last attempted to defeat him, so therefore it's highly recommended to try and make sure you do kill him in one trip so you don't have to deal with a more difficult fight in the future. But most of you shouldn't have much problems with the boss as long as you're well prepared before you go up there. So once you defeat Glod, he'll drop the Golden Goblin along with 2 sets of big bones, a ruby, a sapphire and a watering can. You want to take the Golden Goblin back to Silas, who also requests you chop the beanstalk down in case someone plans to seek revenge for Glod. So you want to use a shrinking potion on the beanstalk to activate the glyphs where you fought Glod, and it will then shrink the beanstalk. You then want to use the hatchet to chop it down and then talk to Silas to get your reward. So after you finish speaking to him, it will come up, congratulations, you have completed the Grim Tales quest. You're awarded 1 quest point, 4,000 farming experience, 5,000 Herblore, 5,000 constitution, 14,000 woodcutting, 6,000 agility, 6,000 slayer, a dwarven helmet, 2 treasure hunter keys and 2 hearts of ice. So there we are, quest complete. So XP rewards are okay, I suppose, for considering the level you need to actually do this quest. The dwarven helmet, it actually requires 50 defense to equip, and it's got equal stats to a rune full helmet. So obviously it's not really that fantastic of an item. There will be much better helmets that you can use for much lesser price. You can sell them on the Grand Exchange as well, I believe. Before the actual evolution of combat, the dwarven helmet had a special bonus which made it like the best helmet to use for crush bonuses, so that's obviously what this quest was originally kind of doing that as a reward for, but now it's not really relevant. However, that's another quest off the list for myself and for you guys, so it's got to be done eventually. But you shouldn't run into any problems following my guide. However, if you do get stuck, leave a comment in the comment section below and I'll help you out as best as I can. If not, thank you for watching. Please make sure you like, favourite, comment, subscribe, and don't forget to share with your friends. Thanks everyone, bye bye.